GC on the track, boy. GC on the track, boy.
You would be the difference. It's all imperative. I find a rose within the undergrowth. Would this be fair? I can hold it for the silver, for the age of hints. You have that to make a difference. It's not something I can explain.
GC on the track, boy.
Before do tell for the distributed actions every day. Happen to me to figure out for this to be the make it simpler rhyme. I find the time it couldn't be done. Somebody said it, you couldn't do it. It couldn't be done for the chuckle. I could reply for the maybe enough, but I could be the find that buckle for the buckle too tight for the buckle right for the trace of grin on your face with a hidden hiding it tackle things couldn't be done. Did that for the does it never be done. Do that for the list of one that has to be done. For the taking off for that, for this be the hat. Half the person knew for the beginning. I for the doubting for the quitting. Able to be the tackling the thing for the couldn't be done. And for the did it for this again. For the it couldn't be done. For the this to be the prophecy. For the failure. For the never to have that point. For the you to be one. For the one. And for the dangerous of the wood relates to sell you. For the this to be the bit of the ground. For the day to wait you. You start to take off those cycle. Nothing can't be done. But you do it. You see when the executed to the outcome. You declare to see me dimly through glass when I shine. Do I stand before you boldly for the time and the rank and the marking time for that you cannot hear me faintly for the whisper out of range. Drums beat out of the message for the rhymes that never change. Quality and I would be free. Quality and I would be the eating being for the announcing for the ways of words of wine at one time for the vibe for the man demand for the final shadow to you for the could not understand it. You can find the live of the painful history. You know that shameful past. But I keep on marching forward and keep on coming to last so the equally I will be free. Take the blinder for the vision. You can have the padding for the ears. Confess you heard me crying for the mid the you see my tears in the temple for the compelling for the hear the blood for the throbbing of my veins. Yes, my drums are beating nightly and the rhymes never change. To the equality I will be free. Memorial of these rhymes. The eulogy of this turf I find that for birth gave me light. Humble roots. See that for the best of the worst, but I am for the can't be pine for the top of the hill, for the scrubbing over the valley away, for the you can be the brush of it, you can be the tree. I can't be for the bush of the bit of the grass, for the some way hybrid to make it to be for the musky, for the confined base. This is the liveest base of the lake of the day for the bastard. This will be the go for the crew, for this is something you would ever do for the big work. I less to do for the test and what you do is near. That but it can't be the highway for the trail. This will be the sun for the you be a star. I be the eye for the side for the when you fail. This will be the best for whatever you are for I could dip with it or they see yo reflection. I'm happy to be the middle of your perception. In spite of the war, for the spite of the death, in spite of all man's suffering, for the with the lives you sing, maybe I praise by breath for the spite of war. In spite of hate, lilacs blooming at the gates, tulips are tripling down the path. In spite of war, for the spite of the wrath, and courage and morning glory. Rejoice as find a daisy, just to live with the soul divine for the praises and lift your eyes to mine. The clouds are romping with the sea for the flashing waves call back to me, not that for the real, for what is fair. Everything but is everywhere for the giving and deliver, for the ever despair, for the dust to be the gun to the roar, for the cannon, for the boom, for the roses are born, for the gardens bloom. My spirit has still made lights its flame, your same torch when it came. Finding whitely burns and lilies made the lift of silver turn. Earn bites for the whites, for the white, for the war, for the spite, for the shame, for the ear, for the hip, with the whispering breath. Wait for the nightmare, for the look and see what is not but nasty, for the ecstasy, for the spite of war, for the spite of death. My breath will be resting, tickling for the sound, for the message, and for the over the overlooking. If you can stop one heart from breaking, it should not live in vain. If I can ease one for the life of the aching, cool my pain. I can find the help for fainting, with the rubber their nest again, should not live in vain. We are inspiration.
Out the wild bells to the wild sky, flying cloud, frosty light, the year is dying. In and I ringing out with the wild bells, let them fly across that sea, you're gonna let it go. Ringing the truth, ringing out the grief, saps of the mind for those with the sea no more. Ring out the future of the rich and poor. Ring in redress to all mankind. Ring out the slowly dying calls in the ancient forms of party strife. Ring out the nobler modes of life, for the sweeter manner, for the purer laws. Ring out the want for the care of the sin, for the faithless and the coldness of the time, for the bringing out the mournful rhymes. Ring that full of ministry, ring the false pride and the place and blood, to the civic slander for the spite, for the ring that love for the truth and right, for the right, for the common, for the love of God, for the shapes of the foul disease. Narrating us to go. Ring out the love of the thousand awards of old, for these 1,000 years of peace and rage. Valiant for the man and free. Larger heart for the kindly your hand. Ring out the darkness of the land for the ring that Christ and that is to be. I can explain it to you, but you don't understand it, for you are right. Let's do it the dumbest way possible because it'll be easier for you.
Grooves on the track.
Calm down. Inspiration. Express that for the life of your beat. Doubt we not the more from numbers. Life is but a dream. Empty, for the soul is dead and it slumbers. Things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest. The grave is not gold. You find the art for the dust to return what is spoken of the soul. I find that enjoyment not for the star, for the destination to end our way. To act to each tomorrow, for the finest and farther to end the day. For I find the long, for the time is fleeting. And our hearts those for to be brave. Still the mold for the dream, for the beating their funeral marches to the grave. The world's bride broad, find a battle for the life of you. Be not light dumb for the drive the cattle. A hero for the strife, for this be the trust. No future for the harbor, ever pleasant for the left, for the death, for the very instant. Act of living right now and the now for the future, the present. Harbor thin not for the God, no overhead. Lives are great, man, all remind me. Make us life sublime. Pride and love behind, for the footprint to the center time, for the footprints and perhaps another, for the seller, for the Solomon, for the game, for the forlorn, for the friendship break of the other brother, for taking of the heart again, for being up and doing hard for any fate, still aching for the still pursuing labor, wishing to wait, not to have a wish at all, but this would be probably this be depicting your agony for the decision making road and not taken to the diverging, and the traveler stood still, wait for the bit to the undergrowth to. You're just fair. I find it perhaps better claim. It's grassy and wanted to wear. Passing there for the worn out for the really about the same for the both of them waiting morning for the equally late. Try back for this to be another day for the knowing that leads on the way for the downing. If you ever come back and tell yourself at the side for the ages of a hint, you can diverse it with for the traveling have been. It's made all the difference.
It's ringing out the wild bells to the wild sky. It's ringing out the wild bells to the wild sky. Flying cloud, the frosty light, year is dying. And then I ringing out with the wild bells. Let them fly for the cross that's for you gonna let her go. Ringing the truth, ringing out the grief. Saps of the mind for those with the sea no more. Ring out the future with the rich and poor. Ring and redress to all mankind. Ring out the slowly dying calls in the ancient. It's ringing out the wild bells to the wild sky. Flying cloud, the frosty light, year is dying. And then I ringing out with the wild bells. Let them fly for the cross that's for you gonna let her go. Ringing the truth, ringing out the grief. Saps of the mind for those with the sea no more. Ring out the future with the rich and poor. Ring and redress to all mankind. Ring out the slowly dying calls in the ancient forms of party strife. And ring out the nobler modes of life for the sweeter manner, for the purer laws. Ring out the want for the care of the sin, for the faithless and the coldness of the time, for the bringing out the mournful rhymes. Ring that fuller minstrel in. The false pride and the place in blood, the civic slander for the spite, for the ring that love for the truth and right, for the right, for the common, for the love of God, for the shapes of the foul disease. Daring us to go. Ring out the love, the thousand awards of old for these 1,000 years of peace and read. Valley and for the man and free. Larger heart for the kindlier hand. Ring out the darkness of the land for the bringing that Christ and that is to be. I can explain it to you, but you don't understand it, for you are right. Let's do it the dumbest way possible because it'll be easier for you. Calm down, the past inspiration. Express that for the life of your be doubt me not for the more from numbers. Life is but a dream, empty. For the soul is dead in its slumbers. Things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest. And the grave is not gold. You find the art for the dust to return what is spoken of the soul. I find that enjoyment not for the sorrow, for the destination to end our way. The act to each tomorrow for the finest of the farther than the day, for the eye for the find the long, for the time is fleeting. And our hearts those for the be brave. Still the mo for the dream, for the beating the funeral marches to the grave. And the world's broad find a battle for the life of you. Be not light done for the drive the cattle. A hero for the strife, for this to be the trust. No future for the ever. Ever pleasant for the left, for the dead, for the very is dead. Act to the living right now and the now for the future. In the present. Heart within that for the God no overhead. Life's a great man, all remind me. Make us life sublime. The pride and love behind for the footprint to the center. Time for the footprints and perhaps for another, for the seller, for the Solomon, for the again, for the forlorn, for the first shipwrecker of a brother, for taking another heart again, for being up and doing hard for any fate. Still aching for the still pursuing labor and wishing to wait. Not to have a wish at all, but this would be. Probably in this be depicting your agony for the decision-making road and not taken to the diverging. And the traveler that stood still, wait for the bent to the undergrowth, took your just fair. I find it perhaps better cling. It's grassy and wanted to wear, passing there for the worn out, for the really about the same for the both of them waiting morning for the equally late. Try back for this to be another day for the knowing that leads on the way for the doubting if you ever come back and tell yourself at the side for the ages of a hint that you can diverse it with for the traveling can been. It's made all the difference. It's all imperative. I find a rose with the been an undergrowth for this be fair. I can hold it for the silver for the age of hints. You have that to make a difference. It's not something I can explain, but for do tell for the this would be the actions every day. Happen to me to figure out for this to be to make it simpler rhyme. I find the time it couldn't be done. Somebody said it, you couldn't do it. It couldn't be done for the juggler. I could reply for the maybe enough that I could be the who to find that buckle for the buckle too tight for the buckle right for the trace of grin on your face with a hidden hiding it tackle things couldn't be done. Here that did that for the this will never be done. Do that for the listed one that has to be done for the taking off for that for the this be the hat the first and new for the beginning. I for the doubting for the quit it. Able to be the tackling the thing for the couldn't be done, for the did it, for the again, for the it couldn't be done, for the this will be the prophecy, for the failure, for the never to have that point, for the you to be one, for the one, for the dangerous, for the will waits to sell you, for the this will be the bit of the ground for the day to wait you. You start to take up those tackling thing can't be done, but you do it, you see, when they execute it for the outcome. You declare to see me dimly through the glass when I shine. Though I stand before you boldly for the time and the rank and the marking time, for that you cannot hear me faintly for the whisper out of range. Drums beat out of the message for the rhymes that never change. Equality and I would be free. Equality and I would be the meaning for the announcing for the ways of words of wine upon time for the fly for the man demand for the find a shadow to you for the could not understand it. You can find a live of the painful history. You know that shameful past. But I keep on marching forward and keep on coming to last so that equally I will be free. Take the blinder for the vision. You can have the padding for the ears. Confess you be heard me crying for the myth that you see my tears in the temple for the compelling for the hear the blood for the throbbing of my veins. Yes, my drums are beating nightly and the rhymes never change to the equality I will be free. Memorial of these rhymes. The eulogy of this turf I find that for birth, cake, light, humble roots. See that for the best of the worst, but I am for the can't be pine for the top of the hill, for the scrubbing over the valley away, for the you can be the brush of the you can be the tree. I can't be for the bush of the bit of the grass, for the some way hybrid to make it to be for the musky, for the confined base. This is the liviest base of the lake of the deck for the bastard. This will be the go for the crew, for this is something you could ever do for the big work. Unless you to do for the test and what you do is near. That but it can't be the highway for the trail. This will be the sun for the you be a star. I put the eye for the side for the when you fail. This will be the best for whoever you are, for I can dip with the only see. Yo, reflection. I'm happy to be in the middle of your perception. In spite of the war, for the spite of the death, in spite of all man's suffering for the with the lives you sing, maybe I praise by my breath for the spite of war. In spite of hate, lilacs blooming at the gates, tulips are tripling down the path. In spite of war, for the spite of the wrath, and courage and morning glory, rejoice as fine a daisy. Just to live with the soul divine for the praises and lift your eyes to mine. The clouds are romping with the sea for the flashing waves call back to me, not that for the real, for what is fair. Everything what is everywhere for the giving and the living, for heaven and spare, for this be the guns for the world, for the cannon, for the liberation. Why don't you put that spirit inside of me? Liberation. Why don't you put that spirit inside of me? Reflected for the importance of the taking over the memory, for the moment to look at for the simple things. Rhyme scheme is ABC, not your abracadabra for the water, for the beautiful, the split for the things of the way, for the wisdom to the martyr, for the summer, the soaring, the fire, the eyes, the way to sway the scenes. Cheers his face looking up for the holder, the wandering like a cup. Life has this loveliness to say, is it for the curve of ghosts, and for the pine trees and the rain. Eyes that love you for the arms that hold you back. And your spirits are still delight, for holy thoughts for the stir, the knife for the spinning of what you have for your loneliness. Buy it, never count the cost. White, singing, hours, peace, count. Many year for the strife, well, lost, breath, excess, give all you've been for could be. It could be the sympathy, or the symphony for the you can be the feminine, infamous, and find the phrase. Quiet to the dreams, hold that for the forward dreams, die for the broken winged bird, for the cannot fly, for the holding a fast stream, for the wind. Dreams go for the life is, find the father frozen in the side, so. You barely go so slow enough for this to be the poem, song, flow, downstream, curving in, dip, wings, orange, sun, rays, dares to the claim to the sky, birds that stalk for the down the cave, held the suddenly through the bars, the rage, wings, clip, feet, tie, open your throat to sing, why, cage, bird, fulfill, fearful, trail home, things unknown, long for still, tune, heard, distant, hail, find that sings the freedom for the bird still, I find the free birthings of another breeze of the trade winds, soft to the sighing of the trees and the fat worms and waiting for the dawn to break. Lawn as he named that sky his own. Cage bird stands in the grave of the dreams. Shadow for the shouts and the nightmare to scream. You'll find the wings that are clipped for the feet, for the tide, for the open door to sing. That cage bird with the fearful true. I find that for this thing still for the long ear, or still for the tune for the herd. Distant hill for the cage bird. I find that songs of freedom. I sing these songs of freedom. I'm that man can never fall in love again. For the wings are clipped, but they feet are tied. For the cage bird, for the sings and other songs. When they're on, they'll find their freedom for the grave, for the dreams. I find that shadow for the shouts of the nightmare. You can scream this be life, things like that. For the you can find understood. The more of your bindings in the slavery for the distress and the protest, and maybe your mouth for the significant for the oppression to make your voice triple. Not loud, that's not loose for all the strength. Strengthening. Find that reframe, enhance, optimistic, altitude, attitude. This would be simple enough with the homely words that are bounded by your perfect harmony I can see. that spirit inside of me. Reflected for the importance of taking over the memory, the rhythm, moment to look at yourself at the simple things. The rhyme scheme is ABC, not your abracadabra for the